Hello, welcome stage 3 to lesson 8, our very last lesson of THRASS for term 4. We are going to finish off with some words relating to our science unit on adaptations. Let's have a look at what we've got. I've been very kind to you this lesson. There's only 5 words that we're going to look at this lesson. We have questions, resistant, Arctic, protection, instinctive. What have we got going on here? Anything similar? Well, I must admit I've done it to you again. I have put together a list that actually shares 2 different grapheme choices. You might say that they're slightly related. I've actually put together some words with an ST grapheme choice, questions, and resistant. And I've got 3 words that have CT, Arctic, protection, and instinctive. Now, having a look, we can see that all of these sounds that we've highlighted come from our consonant section, S, T, st, and C, T, ct. However, take a look at a couple. There's actually a couple of tricks on here, or a couple of slightly different ones. I've put in 2 examples where the T is actually part of shun on the end of each of these words. So we can highlight, we can say, oh yes, there's an S and a T. There's a C and a T. They go together. However, we know that in shun words, the T is tied to the I. Sh, shun, sh, shun. So unlike, for example, this word resistant, stant, or in the word arctic, and instinctive, in these examples with a shun at the end, the T really doesn't belong to the consonant that has come before it. Questions. You can hear a slight t, before it makes a shun. Questions. And it's not so much of a shun. Protection. Rather than if we had, for example, the letter A, and we had the word station, we hear Asian. The S and the C in these examples make a more pronounced T sound before we hit the shun. Questions. It almost makes a ch sound, doesn't it? Questions. Protection. That's a slightly more of a sh sound than questions. But it's interesting, isn't it? The way that different graphemes go together and therefore create different sounds depending on what comes before or what comes after. I thought that was really interesting. So your mid-lesson challenge today is going to be 2 things. First of all, I want you to pause the video, see how many words you can come up with that contain CT. Obviously, we're probably not going to be able to come up with any words with CT at the start, but I wonder if you can mix it up with CT in different places. Pause the video, see how you can go. All right, let's have a look. I hope you've got lots of words. I've come up with words like active, bacteria, collect, distract, and octagon. So you can see that CT, when we put the C and the T together as grapheme choices, We can have it as our second sound, active and octagon. It can go right at the end, distract, collect. And it can go in the middle, bact, bacteria. So it's a little bit of a hard worker. It can appear in just about any place except at the start. What about another challenge? Words with ST. Now this one we can probably use at the start of a word, but I want you to challenge yourself and come up with words where it appears in lots of locations, not just at the start of the word. Pause the video and see how you go. All right, I hope you've got a great list of words containing st. Let's see what I've come up with. Oh, look, I don't have any words where it's at the start. I was trying to be too clever, I think. You might have had words like star and stump and things like that. I've got adjustment, assist, defrost, estimate, and disturb. You can see I've got some words where it comes right at the end. I've got a word where the st is the second sound you hear, estimate. And I've got 2 examples where the st appears in the middle of the word as well. I think st is an even harder worker than ct because it can appear at the end, in the middle, towards the front, and it can even be the first sound as well. All right, hope you enjoyed your mid-lesson challenge. We are, for the very last time, going to rule up our page into our 5 columns. There are only 5 words to do this week. So what I want you to do is I want you to put your 5 words down, and then if you're very quick, of course, you can do IPA as well. But if you would like to challenge yourself, I would love it if you would put down any words that you've come across in our science unit. It doesn't have to have ST or CT in it. Any word you've come across that you've thought, that is a really interesting word. What a great word. And I want you to add it, and I want you to THRASS it and do the syllables and the definition and the synonyms as well. All right, pause the video, get going, and come back for marking when you're ready. Okay, let's see how you went for the very last time. So use these for marking and make sure you take very close care with the THRASS and the syllables. You can see up here with questions, because it doesn't really, the word questions, as opposed to the word protection, it doesn't really make a sh sound. So I've actually THRASSed it with questions. I've actually put them separately rather than in the word protection where I have combined them to make a sh sound. So that's just something interesting to note as well. So use this for marking. Well done for all of your hard work this term with your THRASSing. Please use everything that you have learned as you continue to read and to spell, to read and write, because that is why THRASS is so important. All right, good luck with your marking.